I turn back to see the dog between my legs, about to finish me off.
Oh, dude, we were so funny back then, man.
God, we should have started a podcast.
Would have been fucking awesome, mate.
Oh, dude,
God, it would have been so good, man. So good.
Oh. How long has that been rolling?
Just like that, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Back to backyard.
Back to the backyard.
I smell shit.
I smell shit as well.
Had a very wild few months, but we're back.
Yeah, just like that. Like we never left.
So many gigs
Anyway.
and many sleepless weeks later, we've decided to go full-time Sizzle.
Yeah.
So this is now all we do 100% of the time. Whether or not that means this show will be consistent now, I don't know.
Who knows?
Only time will tell.
Let's hope so.
How's it feel to look back 2 years ago? We recorded our first episode here, and it was like
Nothing but a dream.
it was nothing but a dream and a few boys.
A
A
few
few
beers.
boys and a few beers and a few guests.
Let me check my prompts. I'm out of practice, man. It feels so weird. I feel quite out of practice, like I don't really know how to get the chats going
This is
properly.
good. Keep this in. Well, look, we did record a full-time episode as soon as I remember I worked my last Woolies shift, and then we got drunk.
And then it was, yeah.
we did the potty. And
So
then-
whether or not that'll come out, I'm not sure. We've got about 7 or 8 episodes in the bank that I'm not sure if they're going to see. 2 of them, 3 of them will see the light of day. Absolutely, but I don't know about the rest. We've got like 10, dude. We recorded like 2 attempts at a Christmas episode. You're never allowed to see that. And like a New Year's episode we didn't put out either. So,
did we do a New Year's episode?
yeah.
Just don't remember. Fucking
We've done so many. We did a George-less episode when George was away in New Zealand.
Well, you guys did.
Wait, yeah, Blake and I did. And then we did one when you returned.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No,
Yes,
that's one
did.
we didn't do.
No, we did one when you returned. It wasn't a George's
we-
Adventures episode.
No, we didn't.
I guess that's a big thing we got to say. We lost the studio too, so
Oh, yeah, true.
so we're now
No,
here.
just felt like coming here, recording the podcast.
Yeah. So studio's all gone. The Sizzle comfort era is over. So we're going out of our way now to make ourselves as uncomfortable as possible for the sake of
Progression.
yeah, absolutely.
Upwards and onwards. I don't know. On that, I feel like moving away from the studio, I guess it's different because I'm here, but I guess we're at home a lot more. Can't speak for you guys, but I feel more comfortable.
Oh.
I'm more, all I have to do, even if we're not together, I'm just getting up out of bed, walking down the hallway, sitting.
Yeah, because
So, I mean, I've separated the living with work, but I don't know, the comfort is still there where I feel too comfortable.
Okay. Damn.
So,
For me, it's a bit of like encouragement to get a nice place. It's George and I were talking about this. We are the money we're living off from Sizzle is the absolute bare minimum. It's probably equivalent to only like 10 hours of work
Not
at a
even.
normal job. Not even. Yeah.
Not
So
but in
That's the
compensation,
best way
with like,
to-
like 100-hour week, 70 hours of
but we get to do what we love.
price.
we're rich in experiences, in memories. We're getting paid in memories.
But yeah, we did chat about this.
Yeah, so it's quite grueling because most of that for me goes to rent and then tuna and rice. The rest of it so that I can physically stay alive.
Which, congratulations, Jack. You have turned a new corner.
I have.
You have
Tuna was always a big enemy in my life.
turned a new page in the book.
And
What's up?
I used to, so the boys, our budget food is like $1 can of tuna and $2 bag of rice.
Where you microwave it.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is literally just you get your microwaved
it.
rice in the microwave, 90 seconds. Tuna, Kewpie mayo, sorted.
Yeah.
Absolutely sorted.
And then you forget about it and you're not hungry, and then you actually don't really care after a bit.
Fasting. But so instead of that, because I didn't like tuna, I was eating canned chicken. And there came a point where I was eating so much canned chicken that I was beginning to feel very unwell. And I don't know how good canned chicken is for you, but it doesn't have the texture of chicken, doesn't have the taste of chicken. But it's
It's almost like cat food.
it kind of is. So there came a point where I was like, you know what? I was looking at the omega-3 and the protein in tuna compared to the carbs in chicken and nothing else in canned chicken. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a go. That's my tuna story.
That's a great tuna story.
Nice.
I remember my first tuna sandwich.
You too.
That actually gained me consciousness in this planet of Earth. I had a babysitter looking after me. I was like 4, 5 maybe,
What?
in a pram.
So vivid.
And I remember she bought me this tuna sandwich, and it was in this container, and she gave it to me, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, all right. And then I just ate it, and I remember going, and I was like, whoa,
I'm alive.
what is this? And like, just munched the whole thing. That fucking shit banged.
Is that your earliest memory?
My earliest memory was my 4th birthday, I think. And I remember I was counting the tiles on the floor, walking, and walked into this building. It was like a pub. And it turns out everyone was there for me because it was my birthday. And I didn't realise it was my birthday. I was like, oh, everyone's here for me.
Damn.
Damn.
But I didn't even realise why.
I think it's little stories that I hear about your childhood that makes me very convinced that you have autism, George. Like the tuna sandwich having such a visceral impact on you.
Is that autism?
It's something.
It in that moment it became a comfort food in a way.
It did. It just almost wired something in my brain being... Maybe that's why Sizzle was a thing.
Because the tuna moment.
Because of tuna.
It rewired you to be not correct, and you're like, like stunted.
It gave me brain damage. I was like,
Everyone thinks fucking vaccinations cause autism. It's tuna sandwiches. Damn.
a little bit of mayo as well.
I think the only comfort food I ever had was chocolate, and I used to call it gog-gog.
Wow.
Gog?
I would always be like, can I have some gog-gog?
No, Jack. No gog today.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
You haven't earned your gog.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Can we be talking about that?
It's chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Comfort food, Blake?
Comfort food. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific thing. Tuna bake, probably.
Oh, it's tuna related, really?
Tuna bake.
Fuck.
Dad used to make it.
Yum.
That's nice. Spaghetti.
Oh.
Spaghetti's a good one.
Only home cooked ones though,
Mm.
of both. But if not, Macca's, I guess.
Yeah.
Macca's has always been that.
Macca's has always
and I've
been...
gone
Happy Meal?
gone through the trenches at Sizzler.
Yeah, I have some visceral memories of Macca's. I remember, like, we got it delivered, and then I was halfway through my cheeseburger, and I was like, oh no, and I had to run to the toilet, and it was the most explosive shit.
Oh.
It was instant diarrhea from the Macca's.
Oh.
Only halfway through the cheeseburger.
But you had it. You got home.
No, we got it delivered.
Okay, yeah.
So then it was, I remember halfway through, then I was sitting there losing it all. I was like, oh, and then I went back out. Went back out.
I wanted that.
I finished my cheeseburger and I went straight back and lost it again.
Damn.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very comforting, I must admit.
No.
Jack.
But it's always like, I guess I had to work for my cheeseburger in a way.
Oh.
Putting in the... You're literally pushing for it. I only say Macca's as a comfort food because of... I used to get it after Sizzler.
Ooh.
Sizzler, going to the trenches and...
Shout out World War II veterans.
Yeah.
You went
I
from
have
Sizzler
it
to
so
Sizzling.
hard.
He knows what it's like, guys.
I have it so hard. Just mentally grueling. But I guess I can't complain. Because there's actually people going to the trenches.
I think I know what you mean. I'd say Woolies was very similar in the sense of it felt so degrading. Just being there,
Yeah.
spending so much of your life there.
Yeah, and also you're just left with your thoughts.
I mean, the supermarket I worked at.
So we're allowed to expose Sizzler, but not Woolies.
Yeah. I think we can shout out the companies. Shout out Woolies, you guys suck.
Damn.
But yeah, so what was it like leaving that job, George?
It was honestly a great last shift, I must admit. Like, I got a box of beer, got a box of Lindt chocolate, got a card. Real quick, what did you get, Jack?
was much better. They obviously liked me a lot more than they
Yeah.
liked you.
Mm.
I got a bottle of Powerade.
Fuck yeah.
And the reason was because I would always have an old Powerade bottle as my water bottle at work. And so my boss was like, at the final staff lunch before I left, he was like, if you guys know Jack, you also know this little Powerade bottle he's had for a very long time. So figured he could use an upgrade, and it was just the same thing but a new one.
Nice.
That's honestly,
meant a lot.
when you told me that story,
Mm.
when you worked your last shift, I almost broke down crying because that was just,
Yeah, I know.
it was
It was hard to hold it
so
together.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
hard to hold it together. But we're men, so we bull.
Out crying.
Yeah, we
Pull our eyes out.
Yeah, we do. Should we cry on the podcast for the first time? Well, I guess on that, when do you guys think you would honestly run out of cum in your lifetime? When do you
See,
think
you
your
may
sperm
not
would
know
dry
it's
out?
your last nut until you
Yeah,
look
you
back
might
on it and you're
not.
like, damn, that was my last nut.
might not realize it was your very last time fucking until you're like, oh, true. I never got to do
Yeah, you're
that
like
again.
old and wrinkly and just in a retirement home. You're like, damn, when's the last time I smashed?
All the more reason, mate.
Yeah, but
Oh,
would you be
retirement homes get freaky though, I hear.
really?
From reliable sources. Oh, yeah, they fuck, man.
I forget how old they are.
If
They're
they're
just like,
single and old and everyone's like, well, we're going to die, we may as well share it all around. Yeah.
Oh,
Real.
you reckon like orgies and all that?
I hear it gets pretty nasty.
They get the masks
Something
out.
to look forward to. They get the what?
They get their masks out.
Oh,
what?
okay.
You know, like swingers. Have you heard of that? I have a story actually about that. Mum and dad, they went.
They invited me to this party once.
No, mum and dad, they were going camping,
Put this
and
mask on.
they were in their van by the beach. And next to their van, they saw this old couple, quite old, and they noticed that their van was rocking back and forth, and lots of screams were coming out of it.
Oh,
And then,
Screams.
scream.
yeah, they eventually walked, like moans, I guess. But at that age, is it screams? Could be. I don't know.
You tell me.
And then all of a sudden, this car pulls up and this Asian guy gets out. And he knocks on the caravan door. And mum and dad are like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, pizza delivery maybe? Who knows? But it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's a front of pizza.
And then the couple opens the door and the Asian guy goes in. And the van carries on rocking back and forth. With
How
another
old is
moan
the
added
Asian
to it.
guy?
With another moan added to it.
New moan.
New moan unlocked. I don't know. They didn't specify his age, but I
Damn.
assume legal.
You assume legal. So he was a young.
Well, he was
young
driving a
chap.
car.
So
Well.
young.
No, I don't know.
He's driving a car.
No, I meant
So he's young.
I meant was he their age or was he like a young
I don't
adult?
think so. I think he was like middle age.
Mm.
Like they didn't say that he was an old Asian
I mean,
man.
you know what? Power to them. Why not? If you're old,
Yeah, sure. I mean, you might as well just experience all different cultures as well
might
at
as
that
well
point.
experience as many young Asian men as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
We've had many very sleepless nights recently. How have you boys been coping? I feel like there have been times we've veered into delirium as we try and cope with lack of sleep.
I haven't had many sleepless nights because I was in Thailand. Do you hear that thunder, boys?
I think that's a car.
I
Might
can
be
feel the
thunder.
vibration of it.
Yeah, we're sitting out in a storm because we can't afford a studio.
I almost feel like the sleepless nights makes us more creative and spiritual.
Is that just because we're going crazy?
It could be we're sleep deprived.
Yeah, that's a good way to bring up this topic. I feel like we have had quite a spiritual journey recently.
We have
Yeah, like it's in the last 3 months, 5 months. Holy fuck! Since December, so the last 5 months,
4 months.
whatever. This year, I feel like I've had a complete spiritual journey to the point where
Complete.
well, not a complete.
Is
a
it
complete
complete?
180? No, not a completed spiritual journey. I've had a spiritual journey. Leave it at that. But yeah, even looking back on like old philosophies, even just like I always wanted there to be something more to life, but I thought we were just monkeys on a random rock. To now, fully convinced that is a greater power, whatever it is.
It's been a crazy one, I must admit.
I feel like we've encountered many beings.
I don't know. It's like talking about a thing or a being, whether it's anyone perceives as a god or some other entity, what people talk about with going into the realm of DMT and that exploration in your mind more so. I think having some kind of thought there keeps you humble in a way, because if you're just a monkey that's gaining consciousness on a rock and you become successful, you start to feel climbing the ranks of society.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I guess
Start to feel like you're better.
yeah, and then I think having something above you, as anything above you will always humble you, but having some kind of entity or being or god above you will always humble you. You're not really all that, you're just kind of a monkey.
Monkey.
I do feel like we've had a complete ego drop just in the last week. Yeah. I feel like, ego's completely dropped in a way where I feel like I could hear anything from you boys and say anything, and it's like there wouldn't be any defensiveness there. It's straight to because we've all agreed to just work on Sizzle pretty much. But yeah, like in a very non-homo way, I feel like we've gotten very close recently.
Hey.
Like in a completely no homosexual way. When I describe our relationship to people, no gay or whatever, but like I always describe it as another marriage. It's like I have my misso and then I have this marriage, like very non-gay marriage with these boys as well. Yeah, it's very platonic.
Yeah. It is.
I know what you're saying, and I think that can be applied to everything where it's not about creating, yes, it is creating a better relationship with people, but
in a non-gay way.
The basis of that is understanding that you can become always more able to communicate.
Yeah, definitely.
In a non-gay way.
Always. Yeah. And I think when you say like opening up and talking about things more so now with Sizzle, it's because we're all realizing that the benefits of communicating are paying off, where definitely. We are seeing the benefits. So it's almost like, let's get uncomfortable with as much as we can, because no matter how uncomfortable you might get, you think about that for a week or a day or however long it takes, then you come back and be like, you know what, I have changed. I see the benefits of this. Things are going good, so I'm going to keep communicating.
Literally. Look how uncomfortable we are.
I guess we are friends with benefits, but like not
in a game way.
Yeah. Sorry.
What about in a Minecraft way?
What?
That made no sense.
Well, I mean, is that a tie-in to like there is a creator above us and we're just in a world?
Not gay. It's more of a Minecraft.
It's just a Minecraft thing,
I don't know why I said that. Just came out.
just thinking about.
It came out.
But yeah, when we announced, so when we first went full time, we figured it was time to see our accountant again. And when we broke the news to our accountant,
oh man, the look on his face.
his whole face.
It was almost like you guys are pranking me, right?
Well, he was quite encouraging, and what do you mean? He opened up about himself.
But
at first he was like
the news straight away. He was like,
I guess looking at numbers for what we do, one person will be very happy on it. 2 people, 3 people is like what we are doing now. It is like bare bones.
Yeah.
I think he saw the uncomfortableness that it would bring, and part of him opened up about how he wished he did that. Because in growing your own thing, whether it's a business or relationship, I guess over time you are going to realize that being uncomfortable will teach you more in a shorter amount of time. You can grow that thing exponentially higher.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Kind of like Minecraft. Exactly. See, that's what I was coming at, boys.
Wait, what?
Going at.
Going out.
What if we didn't go full time?
Wow. Are you feeling thirsty, George?
I'm feeling very thirsty, boys. And it's been a long time since we've had a what if.
Although many of our listeners may have left us, What If has not. They are still our number one fan.
And neither should you. Use
Absolutely.
code SEL in What If's
Use
website.
code SNL for 10% off your What If order at www.whatifhardseltzer.com. Editor's note here. It's actually just drinkwhatif.com. Should know this by now.
Nice.
Speaking of drinking alcohol, though, would you like to see the honours, Blake? So speaking of alcohol, I feel like we have done very well with substances as well. So it's like thinking about it this way: we used to drink a lot.
We did.
We used to get on the piss a lot.
I miss it.
Oh.
But I don't either. I do miss it. I'm not going to lie, boys. I'm loving this weather. I think it's so cozy.
It's very nice.
All I want to do is just rug up, have a nice what if hard seltzer. One time I was at the cinemas. I remember I was at the cinema one time and I was at the cinema one time and basically
Because I was at the
no, I was at the cinema one time and I was pretty blazed and and I was buying tickets to this horror film. The lady at the front counter, she was like acting really weird to me. I went there and I was like, oh, just one ticket please, and I was like couldn't really see properly. And
Why?
she's like, have you ever gone skydiving?
What?
And I was like, oh no, I haven't. And she's like, you should go skydiving.
What?
And I just was like, oh, okay. I mean, like, it's Monday, maybe. She's like, yeah, maybe just go skydiving.
On a Monday, she told you to just go skydiving like that
Not
day, or
that
just
day,
in general?
Just in general. And I was like, thank you. I'm going to
Damn.
go now. And I remember just coming away
Fuck the
from
cinemas. I'm
Chef,
on
that.
skydiving.
Fuck yeah, what am I doing here?
No shit.
Yeah, that was a wild experience. So
Oh, okay.
that was it. That was the
Okay,
story.
cheers.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah,
I got
right.
too excited for the what if. Can't
What
lie.
if? What
Mac
if?
and cheers.
What if? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, that's right.
What if this is how it was always meant to be?
Oh, damn.
In the rain.
Damn. Do you think she was a spiritual being?
See, there's a
Or maybe a
moment-
demon.
Ooh.
Or trying to mislead you?
Maybe
Is like, go
if I-
skydiving so I can cut your parachute.
Could you imagine I'm skydiving and I look behind, she's like, she's like, I'm attached to her, and she's like, I'm not pulling the chute. What would you do in that situation?
Probably pull it myself.
Yeah. Right.
Reach
So
back.
lean forward. Bang. Head butt. Now
Unconscious.
check to see if she's unconscious. Nope. Do it again.
Boom.
But then what if she dodges?
Then you just start fucking.
What if
changing?
it's like, you just unclips you and then you turn around and as you're falling, you look at her and then you wait until she gets to your level and then you climb on top of her and then pull it yourself.
Yeah, you pull it and then you're like, why isn't it working? You keep pulling it and then you realise it's not the lever you've been pulling. You're like, no.
And then you fall to your death. As our equipment, it's getting wet.
There's something I do want to talk about though. So the world seems to be in a bit of a weird place at the moment.
Scary.
Yeah, it seems like the end of humanity could be rapidly approaching. Whether it's
Or-
AI. Go on.
The start of humanity is beginning.
I do think that is my take on it, that we are at the beginning of the human race, not the end. But a lot of people think it's definitely heading towards the end of humanity as we know it.
Well, I think it's going to cause a divide either way. I
Mm.
think there's going to be the people that believe in AI and believe in the technology that it can produce and how it can impact the world and change it.
Mm.
But then there's going to be the other people that think technology's ruining the world, and they just want to stick to traditional human
Experience.
experience, and then that's going to just cause a divide. And I think that is what's going to end the world. Is
Mm.
the
Well, I reckon those
what we'll
natural
figure out.
humans will die out, yeah,
Yeah.
and then the main humans will be the techno-humans, the post-humans.
I went
But,
to sip my mic.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
But I do want to, so in such a bleak time and a bleak world, I want to shed some positivity onto society, because I feel like
Been waiting for this.
culturally we're heading in a good place. Think about it this way. The word retard is coming back.
Is it?
It's becoming alright to say that.
Is it?
Is it?
Who says?
I say. I feel like censorship problems are like we're starting to bring back confronting media.
What makes
Silent
you think
Hill
of
2
this?
came back uncensored. Very risky move.
So that's what's
That's part of
defined
it.
your answer?
Hey?
That's what's defined your answer.
No, that's part of it. I'm talking about the general media I think we're coming out of this whole kind of woke bullshit. People are starting to realize maybe it's not okay to let someone convince themselves they're actually an animal.
Yeah, that's true. I have started to see a bit less of that. And
There's a bit more awareness.
I think when artists can get over that as well, it starts to show that the woke culture isn't, I mean, sure, it's powerful, but you can still...
Yeah.
You only get cancelled if you let yourself get cancelled.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, I do feel like comedy movies, comedy TV shows have been ruined because of how censored they are now. And it's almost like they try and make jokes and it's just like, not funny, bro.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to bring it anywhere important. And I think everyone's starting to realise that. I think companies are starting to shift into more risky things now because it's like, look at Marvel. Marvel's gone so downhill really because of that reason. It's so available to everyone.
I think, money as well plays a huge factor into it. It's like...
Because Marvel's always trying to craft what is going to be the biggest commercial success, and it's done them really dirty because they're not doing anything creative or dangerous.
And it's lazy as well. Because I remember, you go from Endgame, how insane the VFX were, and then watching Thor Ragnarok, I was seeing the VFX for that.
Ragnarok?
Oh, not Ragnarok. What was the last one?
Oh, Love and Thunder.
The VFX on that, I thought it was god awful. I was like, what is this?
Good pun.
What?
The God Killer.
God awful. Because it's like gods and stuff.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
So
I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this the other night when I was doing my deep dive on how social media presences arise and why it is that people tune in. It's kind of what I was researching yesterday, and more so trying to relate it to us and how we can do our thing. And I guess it's like studying yourself, studying others to be able to study yourself to then make it work with other people tuning in. And on cancel culture, I was researching about Joji, a fellow Australian, who lived in Perth as well for a little bit. Don't believe he originated from here, but
Is he Asian?
well,
No, he's
yes.
Japanese.
Australian, Asian,
Austrasian.
So I guess seeing the way that he originally wanted to be a music producer and get his music out there, and it was in like a couple like bands, like underground kind of, your Thursday night, your Friday night kind of thing. And it wasn't until he made a YouTube channel showcasing some of that, and then the first video was he brought his character Filthy Frank into the scene, and then it was the epitome of everything bad that someone should be, politically, socially, morally wrong as a thing, and that's what people were attracted to. And I guess people would share it, be like, oh my god, look at this. It's like how people find nowadays brain rot so interesting, and I guess there's a lot of racism in it, so people are sharing it around because it's like, I guess when we talk about what is taboo, the thing you're not meant to do, it's more appealing and it's more grungy, and
because it's like, memeified, it's okay to share it.
Yeah, and I guess the whole thing was a meme, and it's like, how long do you play this character for until it's not you anymore, because you've changed so much because of it.
Yep.
And I guess he over a 3-year period, he transitioned his audience from the Filthy Frank to Joji. And I think the way that he did it, he attracted a very young audience, and then eventually that audience gets old enough to be the audience for the conversion that he made into Joji. It's the same generation that he was giving Filthy Frank to, that are the generation that is like the sad generation, where like everyone feels like they're not connected. So I guess they're connecting to it in that way. It's the generation that we're talking about, where it's like, I think being a dog is alright, like all that kind of mental health issues are present in our society.
Do you want to know something really fucked up on that topic? I just
Sure.
found out from someone that works in schools that some schools in Tasmania have kitty litters in the bathrooms for the kids that identify that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know in Tasmania,
Crazy.
I'm pretty sure like 60 or 70% of them can't read?
Yeah.
Is that all inbred?
Oh, they're not all.
Maybe that's why they need the kitty
Yeah.
litter.
No, like as humans, let's sit down. Let's just process that for a moment.
Yeah, it's like
This
we
is
have
something we've allowed
advanced.
that to happen.
We've evolved from animals. We've gone from monkey to now, and now we're going back to dog.
Like, oh no, I want to go back. No, it's a problem entirely unique to that generation. I think, like the one slightly beneath us, or whatever that's called. Like
Z?
is it Z?
I don't think the one
Wheezy?
just slightly beneath us. It's the one after that.
Well, there are people. Well, there are people. There are a lot of people our age that are furry. So I guess it's our generation under.
Oh, you caught the erection.
Always, mate.
For viewer listeners, it's a painting.
That this problem is entirely
an
unique
actual
to it. And I
erection.
wonder if it's because we grew up in this era where technology was booming and there were suddenly all these shows and movies everywhere. And so we're the first ones to get unpoliced access to it all. And all this media, for some reason, always revolved around, when it's directed at kids, being about identity and how you could be special and your own unique individual and you can be anything you want. Like that was always the theme of all kids shows, and it's like that's just not true. You're not a special person in this world, you're just a person. And I think this idea of feeling like you have to prove that you're different from everyone else is part of this whole identity crisis that everyone's having.
And almost, if you have something to say about any situation like that, they take great offense to it.
Yeah, because they've latched onto that as their whole meaning. They're like, my whole world is this because I have to be different and new. So, no, you can't call me this because I'm whatever.
But in my opinion, I feel like there's no harm in it if you're not enforcing it on others. If you start to try and get other people to be a furry, that's when it sort of crosses the line a bit.
Although I guess it's kind of like being fat, right? We can tell it's not healthy. We know for a fact it's not healthy.
Well, you okay, so we're talking about it. You only have this perspective because you are of the other side and you've experienced a certain way. Similarly, most people haven't experienced what we do, so a lot of people will be judging you and be like, you think you're doing this and this and this, but they have a different opinion on what it is to live, only because they're in that path. So when you say you're not special in the world, why does that, in that similar psychology, why are you even trying to do something different and build a business?
Because it's not about me being a new, different person from everyone else. It's just about finding a way to survive doing something that I
doing
enjoy.
something that you love, yeah.
Yeah, it's not so much that
That is unique.
But it's not though.
It is.
It's unique,
This is
but
unique.
also it's starting to become a bit mainstream.
Yeah, but who teams up as a trio doing filmmaking,
And dresses up as hot dogs.
dressing up as hot dogs? I disagree.
That
I think to able to truly conceptualize doing something great, and for you to conceptualize having your thing have meaning, you need to understand that what you are doing is unique. Otherwise, no one would actually care about it because everyone would get it from everyone, and no one wants to pay attention to your thing.
I think that's the paradox. I think to get there, you have to believe it's entirely unique. But once you're there, you have to realize that everyone's the same, no matter what you've done. Everyone beneath your actions is exactly the same.
Well, yeah, it's how we say no one above you in a hierarchy sense will be judging you because they know what it is like to feel where you've been. So they're not going to truly judge you, but the people below you will be judging you because they are jealous of you.
So am I just jealous of furries?
In your eyes, you haven't truly made it, so you're saying it's not special.
No, I think I'm talking in a greater sense. It's like, I think it is a lie that you can be a special person because there's so many people. I think the pursuit of that is what leads so many people to be unhappy and disconnected from all other people.
What?
Oh, I just had a crazy thought. Okay, what if... Okay, so we have furries, right? People that dress as animals. What if there becomes a thing where people identify as vegetables and start dressing up as vegetables and foods, and we are the first to dress up as hot dogs and market it? We are part of that.
Oh, and they look back and they're like, oh my God, these were the foodies. The foodies were back then.
I remember like the
And
furries
then
and the foodies?
It is actually a fetish to be eaten.
Oh.
So, You might be onto something there.
Because I was just thinking, like, what's the difference of dressing up as a vegetable and
Yeah, because think about it this way. It's say if it's only like 1 out of every 1 billion humans has that fetish of being eaten. As humanity grows bigger and bigger, there's going to be more and more of those people with that fetish. So they'll start forming.
7 or 8 in the world.
Little
they'll
communities.
They'll start forming communities. They'll be like, we're food.
Facebook group.
The foodies. They'll be like, we just need someone to eat us. And then they start reaching out to the cannibal
hot dog
group.
today. Who's eating me?
Dude, imagine, you know that old film about the KKK that ended up being used to promote the KKK, even though it was meant to document it?
Wait, yes.
Yeah, way back. One of the first films ever made, but it was made to be like, this is the KKK, this is what they're doing. But then the KKK was so accurate, they were like, I'm going to take this.
Yeah.
That's the most amount of times I've ever said the KKK in a minute. But
speaking of the KKK,
and then-
Kanye.
KK Kanye. Wait.
Kim Kardashian, Kanye.
Oh, shit. But
We figured it out.
Wait, what was I saying? I was about to say, oh yeah, they look back on the Hannibal films, the foodies, like that, and like that's their religious
Inspiration.
film that they watch. They're like, oh, he's about to eat them.
Oh, I'm getting so hungry.
Well, I mean, like the whole idea of, wanting to be eaten is like a direct recession of instinct to survive. So, how much of it is mental health and how much of it is actually a fetish, which is sexually related somehow?
You know what? I've had this big topic on my mind. I don't have any conclusions, so I don't have much to say on it.
Speak your mind.
But I'll just say this phrase. I've been thinking about it a lot. No pun intended. How deep does sex go? Think about that for a second. I'm discovering that
2 inches, mate.
I'm discovering that it is ingrained in every single aspect of our beings. Whether it's the music you like.
Mm.
That's my biggest example at the moment. That
What about
I think-
what about films?
films you like, I think,
Like Toy Story?
for instance, singers you like, I think would be sexually compatible with you because the type of the music they're making is speaking to that sort of urge in some level. Now, again, this is something that I don't really
So I want to
have-
fuck a dead dude.
No, what?
Wait. wait.
Is that what you're telling me?
Do you listen to Corpse? Is that the joke?
No, like Lil Peep or
No. But see,
or like
no, I mean,
Oh,
I
like,
mean you
Juice
and
WRLD.
Little Peep, if you like, would have been sexually compatible.
So if we got truly,
non-gay way.
if is what you're saying, if we were completely okay with who we are as beings, regardless of sex,
Mhm.
although sex determines your drive in sex.
Yep.
If we were to meet and get as truly honest as possible, you think that I would have sex with him? Is
I
that
mean,
what you're
I'm more
saying?
of
Is
a-
that what you're claiming?
Taking-
Claiming this right now?
Taking gender out of the equation, all right, because that always gets in the way.
No, in a gay way.
Are you trying to?
away.
Are you trying to,
So
trying to say something about
no.
Sizzle?
I'm saying take. Well, it could. No, in the way. Okay, hear me out.
Not in a Minecraft way.
No. No. Hear me out. In the way of, not so much because we are straight men, it would be more so that it would be more so who we find attractive is probably very similar. And that's the question I've had, where it's like, how deep does that go in the way that we base most of what we do on these very deep level things that we find attractive for whatever reason it is. Not we're attracted to each other for that reason, but by our preferences being a certain way, if our preferences are similar, we are probably more likely to hang out without that even being part of the
I'll
equation.
simplify this real quick.
Yeah.
You are describing in a very complicated way self-love.
Hey? How?
Because it's what you want, what you associate with. So if you're saying technically, if there was a clone of you, you'd fuck it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm saying if there was a clone of me, no, you'd probably hate them.
Because they're the same.
If it was a clone of you.
You're saying
would you
it's
guys
like-
just be boys.
Because technically you're saying
We play
because through
Minecraft with them all the
music
time.
I would associate perfectly with myself.
Yeah.
And through films, I would watch a film with that version of me, and then I guess as the two versions of us watch it, the probability of thoughts in our head watching it I'm technically thinking about 10 things, but that version of me might think of it in a different order. Statistically, probably differently.
Yeah.
So technically, we still think about the same thing. So like, I might bring up a topic. It's like, oh, I didn't think of that yet. So technically, it's all the same. Like how you're saying, if I'm listening to an artist, the way that they are putting their emotions into a song, and the song is conveying a meaning through communication. Like the medium of communication is the song. So you are conveying a meaning.
Yep.
Similarly, how I listen to it because I want to, and when I listen to it, the only reason I'm truly associated with that song is because I'm accepting that meaning. And then as you get older, you might listen to the lyrics of a song. I did it the other day. You're listening to a song. I did it like literally last night with a song, and I was like listen to it for so long, and you think you understand it, and then you've gone through that thing. You're like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, I'm communicating with that person's meaning that they're describing. So why is it different to have sex with an artist
That's what I mean.
versus yourself that is a clone of you?
Well, I think there are extra factors if it's the exact version of you, because
But what makes that different?
Because oftentimes the way someone acts, they don't like to be around someone that acts that exact same. You kind of need these differences to connect. But in that same sense, it's more so I guess it is like self-love in a way of like what you're looking for and what you desire determines, and the deepest level of what you desire would come down to like hunger and sex. Pretty much are the two most instinctual feelings, and then the combinations of them come out in anger or whatever the fuck.
So yeah, a clone of myself is a perfect reflection and similarity. No, not reflection, but perfect. Yeah, reflection and similarity of what I want in hunger and sex, because I have I have the
what
same
you are is
sex
different to what you
drive
want.
as that person who is a clone of me, and the same taste of food for what I like
But-
in food.
No, because you need the difference.
What do you
Because
mean, no?
think about it this way: if you're dominant in sex, and you like to choke people, okay, let's just say that. So then you can't. You're not compatible with yourself because you can't both be dominant and both choke each other.
True, but what if an
So then-
artist is depicting that in a song, and I'm like, oh, I resonate with
That's
that
'cause
song,
they're-
but then I'm not going to fuck that person because
No,
we're
no, no.
both dominant.
I mean sexually compatible in the way that I've used the wrong term, but in the way that who you are sexually compatible with would be the same in that sense, because they're talking about the same thing. Where if it's like if someone doesn't even talk about being dominant in sex, say, but if they are, because music is emotive, you're more likely to like that music by them because it came from that same root of what the desires are. That's what I mean.
In a similar way, if a clone of you in 3 years, you cloned yourself, and then in 3 years that clone made a song, you would be like, fuck, I love this song
Yeah.
because it is perfectly made. It's the same thing.
Well, no, because that doesn't mean you're gonna fuck yourself though.
No, but I'm not that in the same. You just said I'm not gonna fuck the artist. I'm gonna fuck
Okay,
what
yeah,
the
yeah,
artist
yeah.
likes. Similarly, how I'm gonna fuck what my clone likes.
Yeah, of course.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's self-love.
Right. I still thought you meant talking about fucking yourself.
Could you imagine going back to back with a clone of yourself?
That would suck.
Back to back.
Whoa! No, I mean like a DJ set.
It's like your turn.
I'm just going to the toilet real quick, babe. Toilet, and then it instantly come out.
So then you didn't do anything together if it's instant. What? What are we talking
No,
about?
I have no
Self-love.
idea. I've been quite lost.
How
in this
deep does sex go?
conversation.
That's all the question was.
So we're saying the same thing, really.
Yeah, we are.
So I think it is self-love.
I can see what you mean. Yeah. Do we want to tell any late night walk stories?
Oh, so many though.
When we're saying we go on these late night walks and stuff, it's more that we've been thinking about ideas and how we can portray meaning, not through just communication, because communication is the utmost thing that destroys humanity. It's the thing that brought us into the world through being a monkey and unintelligent. Communication is the thing that made us what we are, and it is the thing that is destroying us
Yes.
because we lack it. We gained it, and then we've abused it, and now we're lacking it.
That's why I have hope for society with us being able to tell each other to get their shit together again. But yeah, there is one late night story I want to tell
Go on.
that I think is funny.
Speak your mind, Jack.
So it was during the lightning storm. We were walking around, and we were trying to get up to a hill, so we could get the best possible vantage point to watch this lightning as it was kind of over the Perth city in the distance. So we ended up on this hill, and we had this great view down of the fucking city and the lightning. We were standing there for quite a while, and if you've ever looked at Perth city, there's a lot of airplanes that come in and out of there. So there was this one airplane, and it looked a bit odd, and we were like, oh, what if it's not an aeroplane? And we were joking about it because it looked like a flat disc. It looked like a UFO. And so we were joking about it. We were like, oh, yeah, what noise would it be making? It'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then the other boys jumped in. It was like, it'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And there was a moment when all three of us were making these noises.
Old mate, 3 a.m. Was it 4?
It was like 4 a.m. 5 a.m. Yeah, it was 5 a.m. And then
People were going on
we were
jogs.
standing near a road.
On
and
a
a
corner.
car drives past around the corner.
Both
We
windows
got
down.
all three of us. We're going, whoa, 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 whoa. And then we look, and this car had his window down as he drives past.
Who's up?
And we look at him. We all instinct stare at him. So this guy was driving at 5 a.m. It was dark. It was pitch black. He turns a corner. He sees three boys pointing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop and stare at him.
So if you're out there, we're sorry.
We're sorry. We may have appeared like we were aliens disguised as humans.
Do you
And we're
reckon-
speaking.
It's like
Imagine he
fully
watches
brain.
this. He's like, they're lying. They're fucking lying.
yeah, like, they are aliens.
I'm telling you.
That's exactly what an alien would say. Yeah. So it makes me wonder how many weird things I've witnessed that have a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
That because in his mind he's probably like, "There's no fucking way they were humans." Probably saw that. He's like, "There's no like what could possibly have been happening for three boys to be making that noise at 5 a.m."
Yeah, it was such a weird experience.
So is
You act like you were the guy driving. That was weird.
you've like
I just challenged
become him? You're like,
You jumped into his mind.
so I guess there's a lot of things that I guess when we talked about it previously where we've experienced a lot of weird things. Is there actually something above us? Are people rightful to claim that there is this being or a god or whatever you see because you've experienced some kind of situation where that, or like I've prayed and then someone gave me $1 bill like the next day? It's like, oh, did they just do it out of kindness? Was there a physical, societal reaction, chain reaction that led that to happen? Or was your prayer answered? How many of those things have happened for you to believe in a certain thing? Or was it all just coincidence and are we all literally just monkeys in a rock? So
Stay tuned
stay tuned.
to
We'll
find out. But there's one last topic I reckon before we wrap up.
China.
Yeah, could do.
So
Is that all?
We could do China.
no.
Oh.
So what do you want to talk about China then, George? Seems to be on your mind a lot.
No. Talk about your last topic.
What's your China topic?
It was just a little bit of a thing that I just wanted to blurt out.
Yeah, fair.
Is that racist?
Do you feel scared of China right now?
What do you reckon? What do you boys reckon China's plotting?
No, you tell me first.
yeah.
You
brought that up out of nothing.
you want our reaction so that you can gauge it
Well,
and to depict your reasoning. But
there's
if
been
you
a
do
lot
it
of
first, we'll get a different answer.
a lot of questionable things
Mm.
that have recently happened, and I think
They've been walking.
China's plotting.
What do you think they're plotting?
Well, do you boys find it weird that the Chinese warships were just chilling on our ocean? Like they were
Sure.
literally just cruising, and then
They are fully in their legal right to do so. By the way,
absolutely. But
based
sort of a
on
wow.
national open water law,
absolutely,
technically they are okay to do so. They
But
didn't cross
it's-
any boundaries.
but they got as close as they could.
hmm Similarly, how as a society we have a line of what's okay, and everyone will test that. Everyone's always testing that. So
I think
that's where backlash comes in.
Maybe they
Don't do
were
that.
testing at how much these countries would react if they were like guns blazing.
Well,
or
I think we were chatting about this on that late night walk when we were saying that maybe
True.
China wasn't really plotting anything. They were just there to watch us
Mm.
and just see what we're up to.
Surveying.
I don't think there'll ever be another world war in the sense of like guns blazing. I think humanity's past the point where they realize that's not effective anymore. And I think if a nation were to try and take over the world, and why wouldn't they? Humans have done it all of history. Then they're going to plan it in a covert way, as it may be happening now.
Mental game.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we only have war because we have lost communication with who we are. Like, it's crazy to think that we came together because another technical species kicked us out of the tree, and we band together and we won. And we don't do that now, but if we did, we would already be traveling and exploring space.
Anyway, we're ranting, but
We're becoming conspiracy.
are we
theorists.
doomed? But I think to tie it back down to Sizzle, I reckon it's very important now for our listeners and our clients, our business partners,
And for us,
to really prove to everyone how dedicated we are to Sizzle right now. I think the best way to do that would be to start throwing out some hypothetical situations and seeing how far we would go in them for the sake of Sizzle. So,
How deranged are we?
who wants to start?
I'm okay with starting and finishing.
All right, go on.
Well, I guess the first one that comes to mind, would you be locked in a room with Diddy for a whole day for Sizzle? If he was like, if gods were like, the only way Sizzle can succeed is if you're in this room with Diddy, we can't, and the gods are like, we don't know what's going to happen in that room, we don't have access, they have superpowers, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but Sizzle will be good afterwards.
Well, I feel like that situation's probably happened.
So I guess in a realistic sense, if we meet someone of such a high profile that is literally like how Hollywood works, Harvey Weinstein, whatever the fuck, would you do it for Sizzle?
You mean just enter the room? There's no expectations.
Would you let a Harvey Weinstein / Diddy oil you down and do whatever they want for Sizzle?
I feel like I would end up like, if it's like if the quota for Sizzle to succeed is just for me to enter the room and I have to survive 24 hours, whether that means submitting to whatever he wants and being like, I'm going to take the easy way, just do whatever the fuck you want, or fighting, because like if the quota is just to enter the room and 24 hours later the door is unlocked, whether or not you are, however you want to make it out,
24 hours with Diddy challenge,
like, or an hour or whatever.
Just
we
run
say.
around the room till he runs out of gas.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you could. There's a lot of ways you could.
Yeah.
You know, if you mean the quota of said reality, the god is like, the quota to beat is you have to get oiled down and do that. Probably like a video game. It's hit. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know, when you finish a mission and that character is done and then he becomes an NPC,
Yep.
you can just get out your rocket launcher and just fucking blow him up because he's just an NPC at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you would hit that quota, whether it's submitting for like a minute and then you can kill Diddy and then you
Sure.
can get out. Yeah.
But you're all
Then
oiled
you
up.
then
It'll
you
be a bit hard.
You're like,
Trying to choke on him.
You're
You're like slipping. Your arm's
Yeah.
slipping over.
you try and get out the door, but you can't open the handle because you're fucking too slippery.
You can't run either because you'd just be slipping everywhere.
Yeah, you'd say you're trying to run away.
But also it'd be hard for him to grab you because you are oiled up. So he's
True.
like trying to grab you like, ha!
Well, I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
oh. Yeah.
I don't know if there would be, we say Diddy, but I don't think there would be much sexual desire from him towards me, unless it's a power thing.
Diddy is very gay. Definitely a power thing. Like, it's just ultimate rapist mode. It's just, they just want power.
Yeah.
Whichever they
He's just
level,
like,
they level up to the ranks. It is a power thing.
Crazy. We're out here screaming ultimate rapist mode. That's wild.
It's crazy. Have we gone crazy?
We're gonna
Our
get
people
cancelled,
gonna watch
bro.
this and be like, in the 7 months.
to come out.
First of all.
Alright, here's my one.
Alright.
Would you boys, for Sizzle, on a planet that's very similar to Earth, but has a completely different species, light years away, once his DJ set filmed, Would you do it?
Oh shit, that's a good one, George. So you have to go on a ship and you can't come back ever.
Yeah, and the catch
Can't come
is
back?
you
Yeah.
can't return. You can bring your misso or any person of your choice, but you can't return back to Earth.
Is it with the other Sizzle members?
No.
You can't bring.
It's almost like you're making a sacrifice to go be Sizzle in that planet.
But then once you do it, like Sizzle will be worldwide fame and like perfect.
Galaxy-wide, man.
Galaxy-wide fame.
Would you do it?
Well,
Hmm.
why can't I return? Is it because I'm not allowed back into Earth by,
Yeah,
Earth's
it's like
government?
that planet
or
Earth.
is the technology fucked?
We only have the technology to teleport you there. They don't have the technology
Yeah.
to teleport you back.
It's like, or even that we have invented a ship that can travel light years away, but when that ship lands, it explodes.
And they don't have the technology to then build one and send you
Yeah,
back.
so you can't return.
So there's two ways of looking at this. The way I see it is, if you are to go and be sent on Earth, Sizzle becomes a momentous thing because they are the first ones to be teleported to film
A
said
DJ
DJ set. For whatever reason, we have visual of that. You can see that, but you just can't be returning. But also, if that happens and one of us does go away, at the moment Sizzle becomes internationally and worldwide known, it also disbands.
Could you imagine you're on the ship and you're like, I forgot the SD card.
Damn.
You just head all the way to that ship.
So yeah, I mean, so no, I wouldn't do it.
Well, I'd be conflicted because on one hand, it's always been my dream to meet another alien and be in their civilization.
And go
but
to
on
space.
the other, I feel like this is home, and I wouldn't want to. I want to see Earth through. You know.
So,
But
I guess what you're saying is it for you to achieve what you like the great mysteries of the world and the universe to see an alien? Is that for you, or because we're talking about it in a for Sizzle way? It's disbanding it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I don't
in
think
my
I'd do it,
eyes,
yeah.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Could you imagine?
It will hinder Sizzle.
oh, Blake, do you have one then? Do you have a hypothetical just to wrap up the episode?
How much of yourself in this current moment, and it's already changed, but how much of your current self are you willing to lose for Sizzle?
As in, like, you're willing to change so much for it?
Comfortability, like how much of what you do and what you have are you willing to give up? What percentage? Like what? That's what I mean. I'm trying to like depict that into like a scenario.
I would say it's a pretty high percentage. I'd say that Sizzle doing this has taught me so much about myself and the world and people as a whole that I guess never thought I would learn. So in that same sense, even if there are sacrifices, if I continue learning what I believe to be truths, then I feel like that's the pursuit that I want to keep going for. So I feel like if I lose people because of it, it's because they don't want they don't want the truth.
I feel like, well, personally, I'm starting to see that happen anyway. It's like, it's a situation and it's a question that you've asked, Blake, but it's also a lifestyle we're living.
Yeah, I know. But I want to say it because
It's a reality.
we've already kind of done that. Like the conscious thought of being ignorant to ideologies about the world, where nowadays we understand that, and it can be grim thinking about it, certain things. But back when we were in high school, you had a different opinion on the world, so you have already lost a percentage of that person of yourself.
I'd say at about a 90%, because I think there are core parts of myself that I feel like needs to stay for you to remain a healthy human, like always being in touch with like your inner child, and whatever meant the most to you as a child is the purest form of your happiness. So I think always being in touch with that, but I'd say a good 90.
Yeah,
I
I'd
would-
say good 85, 90.
Looking how far it can go, I guess 100.
Damn.
Like
You're
how
completely
far
willing to
it could go.
lose touch with your entire childhood self. Everything that you liked as a kid, you're willing to let that all go.
It's not it's not like that, I don't think. Okay, say for example, I've learned about shit in the world and I understand this and that, but then having that knowledge, you have the ability to help people. Everyone's always going to change repetitively as you get older, no matter what you do. But I guess if you're in certain industries and certain environments, like having your own business or in a relationship versus not being in a relationship, you're going to learn exponentially quicker than the other side of what that is. If you weren't in a position to learn a exponentially condensed amount of information and you change very rapidly, you are in the position to be able to teach people and help people. So I guess if I'm able to change more, which technically is 100%, I'm able to then teach the younger version of myself it's okay. So I guess what I'm doing is I'm doing it for the younger version of myself who was lost.
But then that's still keeping a percentage of yourself because you're still holding on to that. So it wouldn't be a 100% change then.
Yeah.
Well, this was meant to be a little silly section, but kind of it got very deep there. Well, I think that is a good place to wrap it.
I think so.
So yeah, I
it
guess,
seemed
I guess
like
it's not 100%. Things can change, but I guess your core values are still solidifying as you get older. We'll say that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of the funny subjects I had turned into real deep discussions. So
That just shows that we've become deeper people.
I wonder if that's the evolution of the show or if it's just out of practice. But I guess we'll find out.
Not enough booze.
No, we didn't get silly
Not enough what ifs.
I mean, you say that, but is that not what comedy is?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, no!
That's not comedy.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what comedy is, I guess. We'll go back to Filthy Frank. He started this as like a comedic thing to do, but it turns out, evidently through his music as well, and him openly talking about it, that his mental health was not actually good.
Yeah.
So that's just one example. I mean, I'm sure everyone out there can make a comedic joke because they're hiding something in themselves, or they make a racist joke, or they bully someone. The only reason for that really is because you've got something else going on that you have to feel that you have to put it on someone. Then 5 years later, you might go back to that person and be like, you know what? That person has probably learnt quicker than you because they have been bullied. They have learnt to accept the world as it is quicker than you. Where you come back 5 years later and you talk to that person, you're like, sorry, I'm sorry for what I did. But that person had already accepted that a year after you did it. But it took you 5 years to do it.
It's crazy how Filthy Frank invented the Harlem Shake.
Yeah.
It's crazy how he still has a song on Spotify titled A Word I'm Not Allowed to Say Due to My Race.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we're back. And we're consistent now.
Don't say that.
I'm so hungry. Time for some tuna and rice?
We need to get some.
Yeah, let's go get some tuna and rice.
Yeah, boy.